Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today I'm going to change the battery in this Sony PlayStation Vita. So it's actually quite an easy process to do. You can get the batteries from places like eBay and Amazon for between 10 and 20 UK pounds. If you want to go further afield and buy it from China, you can actually get these batteries for under £10, so you can get them really cheap. So if you find that the battery life's not lasting very long, you don't have to go out and get yourself another PlayStation Vita. Chances are, by just changing the battery out, it will solve the problem. Now, you don't actually need a lot of expertise to do this. We just need a very small crosshead screwdriver, and we're going to undo 4 screws at the back, 2 at the bottom, 2 at the top, and then inside we need to just remove a little ribbon cable and also the battery connector, undo 2 screws to get the battery out, and also this little catch as well. But you'll see that I'll do all that in the video. You will be able to do this even if you're not very confident mucking about with electronics. So here we go. Okay, so this is what we need. PlayStation Vita, a replacement battery. I've got a very small flathead screwdriver just to help me undo the ribbon cable. I've got this just in case I need a hand prising it apart. This is just a small little, I think they're called a spudger. You get these in mobile phone repair kits really cheaply. If you're willing to spend a couple of pounds, you'll get something like this and a few screwdrivers. But I might not need this because often I can just do it with my nails. And I need a very small crosshead screwdriver. The one I'm using is a Phillips 00. So it's a very small one there. And also a pen and paper. The reason I've got a pen and paper is because I'm just going to quickly draw around the PlayStation Vita, and then I'm going to put the screws in the corresponding holes. So that's it there, and I'm just going to do the one up here for the camera up the top and Sony here, so I know which way round it goes. And now what I'll do is, on every single screw I take out, I'm just going to punch it through the paper, and then I know I'm going to put the screws back in the right place. A lot of people don't need to do this, but it's amazing. Once you're left at the end with a load of screws, you do tend to forget where they go. I've put down a little towel here just to stop it getting damaged. I've also got some bubble wrap. You don't really need this because it's fine there, but because of the little analog sticks, I like to put it on bubble wrap, and then I know I'm not going to damage anything. Now, first things first, you want to make sure that the PlayStation Vita is turned off. So I've got this now completely dead, and you want to take out the game, if you've got any game in it. You see there's nothing in that slot there because it's not used. And I'm also going to take out the memory card. This is just in case. I don't want to cause any damage, especially to the memory cards, because they cost a fortune. So I've taken all the cards out of it now. Also, if it's the one with a SIM card in, then take that out as well. Okay, so there's no actual SIM card in there, but double check. So that's all the cards taken out of it. Let's undo the back. So using my Phillips 00 screwdriver, I'm turning anti-clockwise, so counterclockwise. If you have trouble remembering which way to do screws, a little rhyme that I always learnt was lefty loosen, righty tighty. So basically right to tighten and left to loosen. So lefty loosey, righty tighty. It's a stupid rhyme, but believe it or not, it is very memorable. Okay, so now, remember I said it before about putting the screws in, so now I've got my diagram here, and I'm just going to push them in to the ones that they came out of. Like so, and then I know when I go to put them back in where they come from. Now we're going to undo the 2 at the bottom, so these are 2 slightly different screws, but again the same screwdriver will undo all these screws that you need to undo to change the battery. And up the top, in this unused port here, we've also got another 2 screws. Here and here. Again, the same screwdriver will do it. Now, if you have a look at the bit of my paper, you can see that all the screws are pushed in there, so I know now when I put it back that all I've got to do is put it in the same orientation with the camera at the top, and then I can put the screws in to the places they came out of. So now we need to prise it open. So I'm just going to try and use my nails. If my nails don't work, then I'm just going to use this little plastic spudger tool. Now when you're prying it open, you've got to be very careful because you want to make sure that the bottom bit stays together. So try to pry it away from the top first, because this is where the ribbon cables are connected. So when I'm turning it over here, I want to try and prise it off from the top bit first. There we go. So can you see there? I just took it from this part here and I prised it from there. If this comes off, it's not a problem because you can just put it back on again. There's two little prongs there. So nice and gently now, I'm just going to ease it off all the way around, just taking a lot of care on this bottom bit. You don't want to just rip the bottom bit out, because the bottom bit is where the ribbon cables are that I just mentioned. So I'm just going to use my little tool here just to ease it off here. There we go. And just round here as well. That's it now. Right, so that should come away, but you can see down the bottom we're joined. Down the bottom there we're joined by these two cables here. We've got the battery connector here and this little ribbon cable that is to connect up the touchpad at the back. So let me just see if that will go there. Now if you have a look, there is a chance that you can change the battery leaving these ribbon connectors in place. Obviously we're going to have to remove the battery one, but that is under a lot of tension. So I know you might feel uncomfortable disconnecting it, but it's so easy to do. I really do recommend doing it. First things first, I'm just going to undo the battery connector. So you can see this connector here. All I need to do is get my screwdriver and I just need to apply a little bit of pressure just to take it out. There. And can you see it just pops out? I'll get the other one out because this is the important one. This is easy to damage, and then I'll show you how that one works again. So with this one, it's just really easy. I can use my screwdriver, or I don't even need to use my screwdriver. I can just use my thumbnail and I can just lever it out there. So let me just zoom in on this bit. So watch this now. I'm going to get my thumb or my nail in there, and I'm just nice and gently. Did you see how that pops out there? So let me push that back in and show you again. So it pushes back in, just push fits back in, and then you just need to lever it out. So just for the purpose of the video, I'm just going to show you it with a screwdriver so you can get the close up. So I'm just going to go under there and nice and gently, you see that how that just pops out? And when it comes to the battery now, I've got a bit more movement on the battery to show you. So with the battery one, all you need to do is it just slots in from the top there. So it just goes in and it pushes into place. It's just a push fit connector. So again, to loosen it, you can just use something like a screwdriver underneath it there and just use a bit of force. Can you see how that comes undone there? Let me push that in one more time. So screwdriver underneath, thumb on top so I don't damage anything, and lever it out. And now can you see I've completely disconnected it, so I can put this away to one side without fear of damaging that part, because this is the really important part. And now I can just work on this bit here without worry that I'm going to damage the actual PlayStation Vita motherboard or anything. Right, okay, so nice and easy. First things first, what we need to do is we need to remove this little bit here, because this is stopping the battery from coming out, but we won't need to take it off completely. All we need to do is, if we have a look very closely, in this section here, there's a little retaining catch that I just need to push in, and then hopefully that will start to lever up. So I'm just going to push in with the screwdriver there, and I'm going to just start to loosen this here. So you can see now, push that back down. If I get my screwdriver in this bit and just lever that bit up, you can see it's come away from here. And now if I go in to this bit here, I'll wait until it focuses. If I go into this bit here, it's too dark to see, but there's a little catch that you just push in, and hopefully that will lever it out. There we go. You can see now the catch has moved up. Can you see the catch here, this bit here? So let me just lift that bit up. There we go. Can you see there? That's the little catch that locks it into place. So when I push down on that, you can hear it clip in. So just loosen it up to begin with by putting your hand in there. You can see now it's already gone loose, but normally it won't work as easy as that. So just get your screwdriver in there and start to lift it up, and then if it's still caught, just get your screwdriver in this bit here to lift that little bit up. We don't need to take it any more than that, because now the battery has become free, and all we need to do is undo these two screws here. They're slightly blue in colour, and again the same screwdriver will work. So go in counterclockwise or anti-clockwise. Right, so take those screws out, and again you can put them into your bit of paper. This thing here just comes out like so, and to put it back in you can see it has to go that way first. So if you look at it closely like that, it goes in that way. Okay, so we're going to put that on our bit of paper up there as well. Yeah, so I've got it up here. And now we can take out the flat battery, or the dead battery, or the broken battery, and we can put our new battery in. So you can see it just came out through that little gate there. There was just a little hole there that it has to feed through. So that's the faulty battery. We now get our good battery, and we're going to put it through this bit here. You see there, it just goes through there, and that slots into place like so. We now need to lift this bit up again, the bit that we had trouble with lifting up to begin with. So we just lift that bit up, and we need to feed the battery in there, making sure we don't get anything caught. So it goes in there like so, and we just clip it down, and you can see now that it's gone into place. We now get our battery retaining clip, and like I said before, it goes in that way so it can flop down and go into place. We now get our screws from the bit of paper. Okay, so they're both in place now. Now be careful of things like this, because these are the speakers here. You can see that there's little contacts around the place, so just treat everything quite gently. If you see bits that are fallen out, you need to work out where they go. So on this one here, this is for the SIM card at the side. So hopefully these won't fall out on you, but if they do, you just need to work out where they go and put them back into place, because it's only these bits here that hold them in. When it's all closed up, when it's open, they're liable to fall out. So now we've got our battery connector and our little ribbon cable for the touchscreen at the back. So we now need to put these back on. So if you have a look here again, like I showed you earlier, it's just a process of clipping them back into place. So I'm going to do the battery connector first, because we've got quite a bit of give on that. So if you see, I'm just placing it on top like that, and now I'm just going to use my finger to just press down on it, and it just clips into place like so. So if you have a look now, you can see that it's nice and flush. So that's that one in, and now I'm going to do the same with this little ribbon cable here. So I'm going to zoom in for this bit. You will see now when I put it down, I have to be in the right place. You ready? So it feels like I'm in the right place now, and push it down, and you can see then the male will just go into the female, so the plug into the socket. Okay, so I'm happy that they're both fully in. Double check that they're both fully in, because you don't want to have to take it apart again. So the battery's in and the ribbon cable's in, and now it's just a case of gently closing the lid. So now I'm going to put it in the right position, and when I push down, it should hopefully clip into place. Now before I do it, make sure that your left and right trigger up here, shoulder buttons, are definitely in place and they haven't popped out, because sometimes they can pop out. And make sure that we've got all our covers for the game covers and the SD cover and also the SIM card cover all in place. And when we have, just gently close it all the way around, and it should clip into place. And now that will be ready to work. So you can test it right now, or what I'm going to do is, because I'm confident it is going to work, I'm going to put the screws back in. So we've got our bit of paper here. So we just pick off the relevant screw. So this is bottom right, pop it in and then do it up. So I'll be fast forwarding through this bit now. And you just want to do it up just gently, but just so it nips into place. You don't want to do it really hard, because remember, a lot of the time you're just screwing into plastic, so you don't want to go crazy with it. Just nip it up until it's just tight. The 4 at the back are now done, and now I'm going to do the 2 at the bottom. So that's them 2 in. I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video that this is actually an OLED model. So this is the first PlayStation Vita model, the fat model. It's not the slim one. If your slim one needs a battery replacement, you've got to make sure that you do buy the correct battery. So you need to make sure that if you've got an OLED model, a fat model like mine, that you get that particular battery. And if you've got a slim version, obviously you need to get the slim battery. They are 2 different ones. And when we're screwing in these screws here, just make sure you go in these little holes just next to the port. Don't go in these ones down here. It's these 2 little ones here that you need to screw back into. Before we turn it on, I'm going to put the game card and the memory card and the SIM card slot back in. So that's it, let's turn it on and see if it's now working. And there we go, you see that the PlayStation Vita has life again. So what you can do is, because you don't know how long the battery has been sat on somebody's shelf for, give it a good charge up now. So plug in your charger and give it a nice good charge. You will have to set the time and the date again. And there we go, you can see that it's now working again. So as you can hear, the sound's working fine. As you can see, the picture's working fine. Everything's working like it should do. This is Ridge Racer. There you go. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and please subscribe for more how-to videos. Take care. Bye now.